Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. You know, if you've ever looked at a dusty shelf of old toys or peered into a closet holding a few handbags and just thought of them as, well, just stuff, you're going to want to rethink that entirely. Today, we're diving deep into the hidden economics of alternative investments. We're going to discover how the things we buy just for fun might actually be incredibly powerful financial tools.
Okay, let's dive into this. Because honestly, we've all wondered at some point, is buying toys just a massive waste of money? For decades, we've treated dropping cash on plastic bricks or luxury bags as this guilty pleasure, like a total drain on the wallet. But what if we've had it backward this whole time? What if these everyday items are secretly holding major financial power?
So here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with number 1, the alternative investment boom. Then we'll decode number 2, the Lego wealth code, and explore number 3, the luxury bag economics. After that, we'll cover number 4, rules of the resale market, and wrap it all up with number 5, smart investing, not chasing. Let's get right into it.
All right, starting us off with Section 1, the alternative investment boom.
So what used to be brushed off as just some quirky niche hobby? Yeah, it's actually evolved into a highly lucrative alternative investment channel. And it essentially boils down to two invisible forces, scarcity and emotional premium. These are the absolute core drivers. They are the secret sauce that transforms a simple, everyday consumer good into a high-yield asset with a staggering potential to retain and grow its value. It's wild.
Moving right along to Section 2, the Lego wealth code.
No way, right? But believe it or not, these little plastic bricks can sometimes actually outperform traditional stock portfolios. And the ultimate password to unlocking all that Lego wealth is just one simple hyphenated word: out of print. The crazy value here doesn't rely on the plastic itself. No, it relies entirely on the exact moment the company decides a specific set is never going to be manufactured again.
Now, what's really interesting to see here is the timeline. A typical Lego set has a normal production cycle of about 1 to 2 years. But look at year 3. That's when it goes out of print. At that precise moment, market supply hits absolute zero, but the collector demand is still incredibly active. And that vanishing supply causes massive price spikes, especially for high IP sets like the Star Wars Millennium Falcon, the detailed Street View series, or those complex Technic supercars. If you keep them brand new in the untouched box, the resale profits can literally double. It's like a guaranteed jumpstart.
All right, let's pivot to Section 3, the luxury bag economics.
Stepping off the toy aisle and onto the high-fashion runway, we see a totally different tactic, and this brilliantly illustrates the contrast between the two. Lego's scarcity, as we just saw, is driven by a natural, out-of-print life cycle. But luxury scarcity, that is completely, brilliantly manufactured by brand barriers and price hikes. Brands like Hermès and Chanel aren't just sitting around waiting for natural cycles to end. They are actively orchestrating strict barriers to protect and elevate their sky-high status.
Take the Hermès strategy, for example. They use this extreme quota or bundling system for their highly coveted Birkin and Kelly bags. They're intentionally engineering a severe supply and demand imbalance. It creates this literal money-can't-buy-it exclusivity. You can't just walk into a boutique with a pile of cash and walk out with a bag. Because of this artificial barrier, it's wild to discover that secondhand market prices actually consistently eclipse the retail prices. Then, you have a slightly different approach with the Chanel Classic Flat Bag. Chanel relies on a mechanism of regular annual price hikes. By steadily raising the official retail price of their bags year after year after year, they effortlessly drag up the resale value on the secondary market right along with it. This dynamic is a huge game changer for early investors, those who secured a bag years ago at a much lower price point. It basically allows them to achieve incredibly painless cash outs when they finally decide it's time to sell.
Which brings us to Section 4, rules of the resale market.
Now, I know it all sounds incredibly lucrative, but turning a profit in this space isn't just automatic. To actually win, you have to master a few strict, sometimes harsh rules. Step 1, pristine condition is absolutely paramount. For Lego, you need flawless, uncreased boxes. For luxury, we're talking perfect dust bags, receipts, and intact holograms. Step 2, you have to constantly navigate high fake risks. The secondary market is completely flooded with counterfeits. That means the cost of authenticating your item and establishing trust with a buyer is exceptionally high.
So, the crucial point here is asset liquidity. This is the ultimate reality check. With traditional stocks, you get near-instant cash flow at the click of a button, right? But alternative assets operate on a very, very slow cycle.
Cashing out of a Birkin bag or a Millennium Falcon takes serious time and a lot of patience. You really have to do the legwork to locate that one specific buyer who is willing to pay your exact premium price.
Finally, we arrive at Section 5, smart investing, not chasing.
This brings us to a really empowering, yet deeply cautionary final takeaway, and it's perfectly summarized by this quote: "Turn interest into cash, but don't blindly follow trends." Monetizing a passion is a brilliant strategy for building alternative wealth, for sure, but it requires deep, objective market research. You really have to understand asset condition, supply cycles, and brand barriers, instead of just blindly throwing your money at the latest social media hype.
Which leads us to our final thought for this explainer. Look around your room right now. Open up your closets. If you audited your own passions today, which of your hobbies might actually be your best performing asset? The wealth code could be hidden in plain sight. Keep doing your research, and you might just be sitting on your next big investment right now. Thanks so much for learning with me today. Keep analyzing, and I'll catch you on the next explainer.